Hey, hello there, and thank you for clicking on this video. And the fact that you did is proof that the next few months for you are going to be absolutely incredible. Those things that you've been waiting for, whether that's relationships, love, whether it's abundance, finances, health, fitness, whatever that is, it's coming your way. And there are going to be breakthroughs that you discover and that come your way in the next few months that are absolutely going to blow your mind. So stick around for that. Come back and you can share on the comments of this video when they do. But my name is Kerry, and thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel where we talk about all things mindset, motivation, and manifesting. Today, I want to share a few thoughts and a few things on why you should trust actions over words. Believe people's actions more than their words, right? And there's one exception to that, which I will kind of share with you later in this video, as well as a little twist on that saying that might make you squirm in your seat a little bit, but it's definitely worth it. So stick around and away we go. So people can be great at telling you what they think you want to hear because there's an ulterior motive behind it. There's something that they get out of telling you that thing and having you believe certain things, and it benefits them. And that can work for a while and through no fault of yours. And trust me, I was there, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, because you want to believe that that's true or that they are who they say they are. And you want that. So you keep providing and you trust and you do those things because you're a loving person, you're a caring person, you want to believe in the kindness of others. But sometimes there's just people out there in this world that aren't in the same place as that. And they have all kinds of people duped and they mislead and almost live double lives to a lot of the extent because there's benefit in it. But the problem with that is that a lot of those people they can't remember the truth. And it's like, did I tell this person that or that? And so just trust that the karma in the world, that's going to sort all that out on its own. You don't have to worry about that. But this is, again, coming in and dialing in on the reasons why you should believe their actions over their truths, because that's going to show you who these people really are. Okay? And especially over time, right? Because words can tell you a story, but actions will reveal the truth 100% of the time. There's a great quote, I think it's Rumi. It says, the three things you can't hide are the sun, the moon, and the truth. So here we go. All right, I want to tell you, so where this comes from too, and I've been in a number of relationships in my life, and I've been in some amazing relationships, and I've been in some that were amazing for a while and then not so good. I mean, just like, probably very similar to you. But the thing is that emphasizes what the message is today is, here's a few examples of those in relationships. I mean, obviously it's all awesome in the beginning and we overlook certain things, or there's things that maybe we see as red flags, but we ignore them, right? And I remember specifically in a few of the relationships that I was in, seeing that towards the end of things, like as things are kind of breaking down, where you go out once in a while with the girls and home by 8:30, 9 o'clock, after dinner and a couple of glasses of wine, it turns into rolling in at 3:30 a.m. and smashed out of your tree, and you got to go pick up vehicles or things when hiding phones, like a phone rings and they grab it and run out of the room or slide it underneath their lap, like things, just those little things that are red flags that those are the actions, right? Where it's like and then if you ask about them, being gaslit and told like you're crazy, that's nothing, you're seeing things that aren't there. Well, if you're seeing things, you're seeing them for a reason, let me tell you that, right? And then I remember having conversations with others in a few of those relationships, right, where it's like, well, I don't know, it was a little late last night and stuff, but they said they were talking about their feelings and working through things, and people were like, sure. And not believing it, right? It's like, no, you don't know who they are. I know who they are, right? And I mean, again, looking back, it's all like blatantly slaps in the face of that when you're in it and that emotion clouds kind of where you're at and you ignore what the actual facts are. in those relationships, in those situations. And that's what this is about today, and bringing that to light so that it supports you wherever you are in that journey. If you're not in a relationship, that you can be prepared for certain things moving into that. And if you are in a relationship and maybe there's some of those things that you're like trying to ignore, same things, right? Those little red flags that maybe there's time to have some conversations that may be tough, that we avoid for all kinds of reasons, but it may be time to have those. So, and even looking back in some of those relationships too, right? Once some of the challenges or issues were brought to light, and when someone says to you, "Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again," and because they ultimately get busted doing with what's going on, like you can't deny the facts that you have in front of them, and you go back and it's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, it was an accident," and then finding out, whether it's a week later, a month later, multiple months later, that it's still going on. Those are choices. That is complete disrespect and disregard to you. Don't ignore it, right? And again, actions over words, right? And that's what it is. So, and the thing about this, and I'll touch on this a little bit later from an ownership standpoint, but I looked, in order, like, and I said, multiple relationships that I've seen that in, and in my own world. And so going back and looking at that, what is the pattern? What's the common denominator? Well, obviously it's me, but what is the pattern in my world where this keeps showing up? And in doing the work and kind of discovering a little bit, what it was is I was so fixed on projecting that perfect relationship of who I wanted them to be or who they could be, that I was ignoring who they actually were, and all of those facts and things in front of me that were violating boundaries and things in my world that I was just like, no, that's not it, because I wanted that perfect relationship so bad. And what happened was I stayed in toxic relationships that just like beat the hell out of my self-confidence and violated those boundaries, made me feel like I wasn't worthy of anything better. And I mean, if any of that resonates with you, I'll tell you right now, it's all crap, right? It's all bullshit. That stuff you're telling yourself. You are worthy of everything that you want to be in a relationship. There's relationships out there that you can show up how you want to show up. You can love how you want to love. You can be loved how you want to be loved. And you will be connected beyond anything that you can imagine right now. And there are multiple people out there that will fit that role. And that's another video. I've got videos about when you're single, if you're tired of being single, watch that, and self-worth. And if you're looking for those, look back on the channel, or you can DM me and I'll send the links to you directly. So, anyway, that recognition of that pattern that it was me. So that was work that I needed to do, right? In not projecting that and realizing, and again, trusting the facts of believe what you see, people's actions over their words. And that has been a game changer in my world, a complete game changer. So a quote that comes to mind today, and I knew you could probably smell this one coming a mile away, but it's a Maya Angelou quote where it says, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." And mic drop right there. Man, I could end the video right there, but I'm not going. So a few examples of that, and just to kind of maybe resonate in your world, in your situation with different relationships. And it's not all about just romantic relationships here. It could be about business relationships, family, friends, stuff like that, right? When obviously in romantic relationships, when someone says they love you, but they do like all these things that they're doing completely are the polar opposite of what love is, right? When someone, in those other examples, whether it's business or friends or family, all these things, where someone says that you're very important to them, but their actions show you different. They're always late. They don't prioritize time to have conversations with you or connect and make plans with you. Oh, you're really important to me, but you haven't heard from them in 6 months, right? All right. And then, or things, about where people, they say they're honest and they're truly authentic and everything, and then all they do is gossip about other people. Or and I've seen this actually happen where someone they're like, "Oh yeah, I always, show up for people whenever they need me. I'm always there for them," and stuff like that. And then they get they see the phone ring and they're like, "Oh, not this person again," and they hit ignore. Or they make up excuses where they make plans with someone in the future, and then the hour before or the day before, they blatantly lie and make something up because they don't want to do it. Now that there are times where, and again, in being true to yourself and what that is, but don't make plans in the first place with someone if you're just going to pull a shoot right before. And that's what this is about, where they knew they were never going to do that, but they misled that person. Why? Because there's some kind of benefit that they were getting in that time frame, but when they committed to doing it and before they pulled the shoot. Right? Truth hurts sometimes, but that's what it is, right? And the more we're aware of that we can exponentially shorten that time that we're going to have that anticipation that they are someone, and we get, and we see that joy and elation from it, and then all of a sudden realizing down the road that that's not who they actually were. So, okay, so I want to, there's that. And I want to talk about just quickly the exception to this, right? There's an exception to when we maybe need to believe people's words more than their actions, right? And this is where maybe you're in a relationship with someone, or you're thinking about moving into a relationship with them, and they say things like their actions are great. Like they're showing up for you. You go out, you do things. They're super caring, kind. You connect on so many levels. But they say, you know what? I'm really not a great boyfriend or girlfriend. Yeah, you know what? I mess up every single relationship I'm in. And I would proceed with caution there. Right? I'm not saying you got to dynamite the thing and get out while you can, but I'm saying there's a red flag there, because those words that they're saying, there's a belief that they have behind that. There's a pattern that you aren't aware of right now. There's a reason why they're saying that. People don't say things like that just out of the blue. People don't say, I'm not a great partner. I'm not a great boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not a great wife or husband. If there's something in behind there that they can't validate, that's not validating that, a belief that they have, experiences they've had that proved it to them, whatever. And it's only a matter of time before that shows up in your world. And better to find that out sooner than later. So that's the one exception where you want to kind of believe people's words. If they're telling you something a little different than what they're showing, but it's actually something that you should be paying attention to, that's the one exception to there. Now, here's the thing where I'm going to tell you about the little twist at the end where it may make you squirm a little bit. And I touched on this a little bit when I said what were the patterns that were showing up in the relationships that I was in, and the breakdowns and what was happening, and in where I was, believing people's words more than their actions. And what that is where is this happening in your world with you? Okay? Your actions, your words. Where are your words not matching the actions, right? Where are the actions not matching the words? All of that, okay? For example, I don't know, I'm going to use a couple like really kind of almost shallow to start off a little bit, but like fitness, health and fitness, right? When you say, and I say we because been there, got the t-shirt, man, I still have my moments now. Like I said, I don't claim to be at the finish line. I am a work in progress, and I say that in every single video. Is it where we say, oh, I'm going to make sure that I'm eating completely clean, and I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to do something active how many days a week, and I'm going to do this and this and everything else. And then our actions don't necessarily support that. And not only what that does to your own, right? It's like lying to yourself, right? And that's where, again, it manufactures those beliefs that we have, because and that's why a lot of the times we don't reach the goals and achieve the things we want to, because, like, for example, in that specific fitness one, I'm going to work out all the time and I'm going to do this and this and this. And then when we don't do it, we convince ourselves that we're not good at that, that's not possible for us. We could never do that or achieve that. And that's where it spirals and you gain momentum, but it's in the wrong direction. So again, a little bit of accountability, a little bit of ownership there. Right? Where do your actions not match your words? With self-love, with what you say about you, with what you think about you, with what you want for you. I'm going to do this with caring about others. I'm going to do this with my fitness. I'm going to do this with my finances. I'm going to do this with my family. What is it? And where do you not match up? Sit down and think about that. And those are conversations that I've had with myself that are hard conversations to have, but it definitely changes your perspective on things. So thank you for joining today. And again, if you found value in this video, I am grateful for you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend. Obviously, it gets the old algorithms, gets it out to more people that it can support. And if it's all about evolving and becoming better versions of ourselves, right? And this is where the more we stay in situations that are toxic, borderline, sometimes narcissistic, there's a lot of traits in here like the gaslighting, stuff like that are narcissistic traits. And sometimes there's a lot of people that are trapped in those, and we stay because we think we don't deserve something better, or we might not get something better. But I'll tell you what, if you're even doubting that at all, a little bit, that's your proof that there is something better waiting for you. All right. And it is definitely, you don't have to stay in that uncertainty and discomfort knowing that there's something better for you out there. So, all right. So if you'd love to connect with me, I would love to connect with you. So my website's down below, kerrykish.com. I'll link it in the notes. And if you want to kind of keep the momentum going, right? And as I said, we talk about mindset, motivation, and manifesting on this channel. You can check out this video that's going to pop up on the screen because it has something to do with one of those 3 topics. And as always, I am grateful for every moment that we share together. Thank you for your time today. And until the next video, sending peace, love, and positive vibes your way.